one of the things that we've learned so much about with online education is that you can create very rich course content and very meaningful experiences for students in laboratory settings, et cetera, through the virtual environment. But what is harder to create is community, is that ability for the students to interact with one another and interact with the faculty member. And so what we're working hard on now is learning how to be more interactive with the virtual experience and less one-way communication and more opportunities for students to interact with one another and with the instructor. I mean, if you think about what's different about a residential experience, like coming to NC State, it's that students build community. Let's say they're in a chemistry class. Well, they're in it together. They have a lab section. They get together to study. They get together to solve problems. And it's harder to do that online because, number one, they don't know each other the way they would if they were physically here and seeing each other 3 days a week. And we've got to get better at creating community online and giving students that opportunity to learn from one another, because that's really where a lot of the magic happens in higher education. I mean, as a professor, I'd like to think all of the knowledge comes from my lecture. But the reality is that's the baseline for it. And a lot of learning occurs when students interact with one another to say, wow, what did Professor Woodson mean? One of the perceptions that a lot of people have is that the online environment is easier on the faculty member. Let's say you're a professor teaching a large class in management, let's say accounting, and you've got a question that comes to you by email from a student, and you answer that question. You spend hours trying to answer all those questions individually. But if you're in a group setting where everyone's together, then when you answer those questions, all of the students benefit from the answer. This teaching environment that so many people believe is inferior, and in some ways it is, but also that it may be more efficient, it really is a lot of work on the instructor to try to manage that classroom experience.